It is Sunday. Well, it's Monday morning as you listen to this. This is episode 10 of the Super Acquaintances College Baseball Podcast. We are in double digits.
We made it.
It feels good. It feels good. If you haven't listened for a while, or if you're a new listener, I'm Travis. I'm here with TJ, Eric, and Benji, our other two acquaintances, Suges. I guess it's like some weird shit, like it's his birthday or something like that. So apparently he's too good to.
Yeah, I don't think he cares that much.
Join us today. And Brennan has some I don't know, test or something. It's almost like he's still in school or something. I don't know what you guys are doing still in school, but yeah, you serve the country and stuff. Is it an overstatement to say that the last 2 weekends, it's been crazy because the Final Fours or the March Madness has continued on and now it's in April. Is it an overstatement to say that Tennessee can't miss television right now?
I mean, they are the best baseball team I think I've seen in a long time.
Tennessee could lose their next 6 games, and I would still say they're number one team, hands down.
I agree with that. Eric and I were talking about it earlier. I don't see anybody beating them in a series. Especially with how they played versus Vandy. I expected Vandy to at least get one win.
And that's what Brennan was saying last pod. I think he was like, as long as you're getting 3 wins a week, midweek and then 2-1.
Yeah, and
they're still
they're gonna be doing that for the next 2 to 3 years because they got their whole team coming back next year. Not a single guy's leaving.
And a whole lot of freshmen, yeah.
I was just mulling this over myself today because we're not going to talk about Tennessee the whole podcast. We've got a whole, there are a lot of other teams that played some really good baseball this weekend, but as far as covering college baseball goes, Tennessee is the story right now. And there was some crazy shit that happened in that series, namely game 1, right? It was in the first or the second inning. I know it was at the start of the game. What's his real name?
You talking about Mike Honcho?
Yeah, I'm saying his real name.
Jordan Beck, 31-year-old Mike Honcho.
Yeah, so
35.
Jordan Beck hit a home run in the first or second inning of Friday's game, and the Vanderbilt catcher basically pointed the bat out, and Jordan Beck was called out because the bat did not have an approval sticker on it. So, feel free to chime in here, guys, but at least from the Twitter research I've done, it seems like the process for getting a bat approved to use in-game is that each team has to submit their bats to the other team, and the other team places a sticker with their logo on it. So, every Tennessee bat should have a Vanderbilt small sticker on it. And these things are when you put your registration sticker on your car, the adhesive is quite solid. So, there people were saying stickers are falling off and stuff. But I think I listened to I think it was an 11.7 or the D1 podcast, and they were saying that it's commonplace for, college baseball players to have multiple, copies of their same bats. That way, when their bat that they want to use in game is being inspected, they can take their copy, right, and go hit batting practice. So it's not, unreasonable for someone to grab an uninspected bat and take it to the plate.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure most teams all have a sponsor, so most teams are using the same bat. So I mean, you could just easily go to the bat rack and grab your buddies.
So there are rumors on Twitter about bat fixing, but we're not going to speculate that on those here because we don't have any really insider takes on that.
Zero.
But it was just crazy to see because just like Ole Miss the weekend before, Vanderbilt found a way to poke the bear. And my assessment of Tennessee is that unless you're the fan base that's getting beaten by them, they've got to be the most likable team in college baseball right now. How can you not like what they're doing? I mean,
they beat up on my Vandy guys, and I still like watching Tennessee baseball. They're just an enjoyable team to watch.
I was gonna say, you watched that interview with the head coach when they asked him about the sticker, and he's like, I'm not sure what that's all about. I'm not even sure Jordan Beck should be at the University of Tennessee. I actually
Forged his
forged his transcript. He's a 35-year-old named Mike Honcho. How do you not love a team whose coach is just making fun of everything going on while still beating what is the number 3 team in the nation after sweeping the number 1 team in the nation?
Yeah.
We'll throw some quotes on that number 1 team.
Tony Vitello is the Gabe Kepler of the NCAA. Like, he just exudes charisma.
Can you expound on that one? I don't know who that
Yeah, they're
is.
just like the sexiest coaches in baseball. Like, you can't look at that man and be like,
just look up Gabe Kepler on Google.
Yeah,
Gabe Kepler
Gabe Kepler is ripped. He's like 45, dude.
He looks like he could still be playing right now.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I'm saying.
The
Like,
dude is disgusting.
This has turned into a very sus podcast already.
Hey, listen, sometimes you have to be able to admit, like, damn, that's a good looking dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got to keep a little suspicion on what the sack means in sack podcast.
All subtlety here. But yeah, so Tennessee went in and swept Vanderbilt. So now, Benji, I don't know if you looked this up. What is their win streak sitting at now? Do you know?
Vandy's or Tennessee's?
Vandy's is at 0. What is Tennessee's?
Yeah, Tennessee's. I'll do it right now. Hang on 1, 2.
It should say it at the top of their page if you're on it.
10-19.
Yeah. So swept. I want to do some research this week to see what
I'm gonna see what the record is right now. I'll look it up and I'll
like 24-2 or something like that. But I want to do some research on like what the last team not only to sweep Vanderbilt at home is, but to sweep Ole Miss and like to sweep back-to-back SEC series on the road is just crazy against top 5 opponents. So anyway, that series was incredible, and I'm actually going to allude to a little bit in my statistic, but let's move on. So there was a lot of other good baseball going on. TJ, it sounded like you did a little bit of kind of a rundown of some of the top 25 teams in action. I don't know if we want to pivot straight to segments, because I know we'll touch on, a lot of these series and, our player of the weeks and statistics and such.
Yeah, I can just run down the top 25, and if I stop at your team and you have something to say, just call it out. So obviously Tennessee sitting at 27-1. They played Vandy, swept them, which was, I think we talked about it last podcast. That was going to be like the most fun series to watch, and it was nothing short of that. Then you had Texas Tech win the series against Kansas 2-1. Virginia go into Georgia Tech, win the series 2-1. Arkansas beat Mississippi State 2-1. Vandy obviously dropped all 3 and got swept. Texas took the series 2-1 against Oklahoma. TCU lost the series to West Virginia 1-2. Oregon State, LOL, they lost the series to Stanford 1-2, and I'll touch on them a little bit later in the podcast.
I've got a lot on that one. That is the one series that, Tennessee kind of dominated the social media scene, rightfully so. But the Stanford-Oregon State series was an incredible series. If anybody actually watched it, which they should have.
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't pay too much attention, so I don't have a whole lot. I just will definitely be pissing some viewers off in my later segments. Ole Miss finally bounced back. I guess they were playing at a bigger field this weekend at Kentucky. Won the series 2-1. LSU beat Florida in their series 2-1, which I don't think any of us saw happening at all, including Brennan.
Wait, did you say 2-1? I thought Florida got swept.
Mm-mm. They lost.
Okay,
They got a game. FSU got swept by Notre Dame, which we all were completely wrong with our picks.
Except for me.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I went with Notre Dame because they're my team.
Oh yeah, that is right.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about it, but I had to take them. I had to keep it.
Got to be loyal. Oklahoma State took the series against Kansas State 2-1. Purdue got swept by Illinois. Georgia swept. I don't have that one right. Don't know who Georgia's played, but they swept.
They played Florida.
I thought LSU played Florida.
No, Georgia played Florida.
Who did LSU play?
Auburn.
Auburn. I have the wrong thing here. So you're probably right. I think I did look at the wrong.
So LSU or Auburn beat LSU 2-1, and Georgia swept Florida.
I believe so. I'll go back and double check. Miami swept Duke. UNC lost the series 1-2 to Virginia Tech. Florida dropped all 3 games, obviously, to Georgia. Louisville lost the series 1-2 to Pitt, which I don't think, again, you got some of that. I was watching the games. We were both watching the game at the same time. That was interesting. DBU lost their series to Wofford College 1-2. Texas State swept App State. Oregon got swept by UCLA. All good games though, so can't be too upset about that. And I think I'm gonna just touch a little bit on Oregon here. So we talked about Oregon last podcast about us having an interview on Tuesday. So this Tuesday, it'll be coming out Wednesday or Tuesday night. We are going to sit down with the head coach of Oregon, Coach Waz. So he agreed to sit down with an interview with us, which is, again, super sweet because, I mean, this is only our 3rd interview. This is our 6th week of doing this.
Sitting here in our apartments.
Yeah, sitting here in our apartments, just having fun. And we get to interview at the time, a top 25 team. So yeah, that's going to be super sweet. And I know we're all hyped about that. So
don't smile too hard while you say that.
They're my favorite team. Of course I'm going to smile hard. Are you kidding me? I get to interview my favorite team head coach. Like, come on. That's the same if we were to interview Texas Tech's head coach or something like that. I'm pretty sure you'd be smiling too.
Yeah. So y'all have anything? Most of my other tidbits, right, will fit under the umbrella of stuff we cover in the segments. Is there anything y'all want to touch on before we kind of proceed with the segments?
I mean, I have a few more games just to cover real quick. Wake Forest took the series at Boston College 2-1. I was wrong. I said they were going to sweep. Still can't be mad at a win. Gonzaga took 2-1 at Pepperdine. Arizona swept Washington, and ND swept Florida State. So that's the top 25 rundown of what they did.
And to throw in our honorary 26th ranked team, Evansville swept Michigan State.
Yes, dude.
Big time.
Insane. Did you see the bat flip slam thing after they hit, I don't know who it was, to win the game earlier today?
Mm-mm.
I'll send it in the group chat. It was Tim Anderson bat spiked after he got hit, and I think that was a lit celebration because I mean
sweep a Power 5 team, man.
Sweep a Power 5 team, and I mean you do what everybody always wants to do. Everybody's always like, "Oh, wear it," and it's like, "Oh, that kind of sucks. It hurts." My man took one for the team and got the dub, pulled out the sweep. So that's massive. Big shout out to them and Coach Wes over there. So
yeah, dude, the amount of times in my doubleheader I was coaching today that I was telling little 10-year-olds to just take the hit, and they just kept getting out of the way playing dodgeball. I was like, dude, just take the base.
If they're gonna give you a free base, just why not?
Hey, they don't track OBP in 11U. I'm kidding. So I've one quick thing on Tennessee before we completely go to other teams. I think the only concern they would have, right, is like peaking too early. And Tony Vitello had a great quote on this that I wanted to share. And it echoed what I had already thought before I saw this tweet, because watching them play Vanderbilt today specifically, it's not just the home runs. Like, they're playing small ball, they're bunting, they're hitting with 2 strikes. I don't know. So they were only up by 1 run, and the way they ended up winning 5-0 today. But when they got their first insurance run, a player had a base hit, stole second, and then was knocked in on a base hit by the next pitch. So they're not just hitting home runs, they're excelling in all areas of the game. And a reporter actually asked the head coach today, like, are you worried about peaking too early? And he said, anybody who would bring that up, or anybody who would bring up that theory, I would ask them to watch us bunt today, and we can go from there. Like when I watched Tennessee in a 3-game series, not only the offense, they're making incredible defensive plays, and the 3 arms that they're trotting out there, like Chase Burns and Chase Dollander, the Friday, Saturday starters, are throwing it up there at 95 plus with elite off-speed stuff. Like, it's just, and Drew, yeah, the Sunday starter, yeah.
Like we said last week, they're playing baseball with a major league bullpen and rotation. And as we were talking about it, Coach Wes Carroll from Evansville texted Eric and was like, he said, thanks, man. Keep grinding for college baseball and everything you guys do to grow this great sport. So
let's go.
Much love to him. Sorry, I might have stole your thunder, Eric, but
no, that's awesome.
I was just letting everybody see it.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Okay. Y'all have anything to share? Otherwise, move into the segments.
Do you want midweek first? Because I have the midweeks for the top 25 as well.
Let's cover the weekend first, like player of the game and stuff like that.
Can I cover just real quick about Oregon State, the series with Stanford?
Go for it.
That first 2 games were both extra innings, and it was such a sad thing to see, but because it screwed me in the long run. But Oregon State lost both, first game in the 10th inning and then the second game in the 11th inning, and that just shows, like, one, it wasn't as hyped up as obviously the Tennessee Vandy series, but like you said, Travis, like, that was a good series to.
It was outstanding baseball.
Absolutely. I have one of my player of the weekend is from that series too, so I'll get into that after.
Mine too. Yeah. Eric, you want to take us away?
Yeah, so I guess we'll move into the player of the weekend segment. So who wants to start us off?
I guess I'll start. I got, I'm going to butcher his last name, to be honest. Silas Ardoin from Texas.
Ardois. I think it's French.
Okay. Silas Ardois of Texas. He went 4 for 10 this weekend, 2 home runs, a triple, a single, hit by pitch and a walk, knocking in 3 RBIs. So obviously having 2 home runs in a weekend series, big, and it helped them. Thank God beat OU, because I would not have been able to handle Splooge coming in.
Sue just would have been talking about this till the end of the season.
Sue just might have actually shown up tonight just for the sole fact. Because I told him, I was like, if they win, you cannot talk about them next week. This is the weekend that we were talking about them. So thankfully
he wouldn't have been able to resist.
No. I mean, he'll still bring it up, but so I got Silas Ardois from Texas.
And Travis, I'm assuming yours is from Stanford.
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'll take the losing side of that then. Mine is Cooper Jerpy, who is always my man. I bring him up literally every week because dude is just dominant. Sadly, though, he was going for his 7th win this weekend and did not get it. He actually didn't even count for the loss either, which is good. But he's 6-0, pitched 8 innings this weekend with 2 hits, 1 walk, and 17 strikeouts. He had 17 strikeouts in the game, and they still lost in extras.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, brutal. 17 strikeouts.
He should. I understand why they took him out. Like, he had 118 pitches by that point.
Oh.
So, yeah, like, I understand why taking him out, but it sucks that they had to because of that. But overall, he did great. I do have, like, a secondary guy. He's not really my guy for my main player of the weekend, but I do want to talk about Gavin Cross for Virginia Tech. Dude went 6 for 11 with 4 walks and 3 homers with 7 RBIs versus UNC to take that series win. So just a little standout player for the weekend.
Nice. Yeah. So on the other side of that series, which again was just ridiculous. So I'm going to touch on Stanford a little bit more in detail in a little bit, but my player of the weekend is Quinn Matthews. So I've mentioned Quinn before, but he's a left-handed pitcher that throws for Stanford. He is typically the Saturday starter. In game 1, which went to the 10th inning, you guys, the two-way player that I mentioned way back in the beginning of the series, or the season rather, Braden Montgomery is who came up with the game-winning RBI in the 10th inning after the team struck out 17 times in the first 8 innings. And then Quinn Matthews comes in for the save. He gets the save in game 1. So goes into extra innings. He comes in and gets the save in relief. And then game 3, Stanford goes down 5-0 in the first 3 innings, and Quinn Matthews comes on in relief. They use an opener. Drew Dowd went 2 innings. Quinn Matthews goes 7 innings, 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts, and gets the win when Stanford comes back in game 3 and clinches the series. So I'm going to talk about how incredible that series was for Stanford and their season, but Quinn Matthews did like a Madison Bumgarner in the World Series back in, I want to say 2015, when just like, no, that was Mets.
It was 2014.
Yeah, it's 2014.
It was 2014.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, just like anytime that like gets me excited as a pitcher, like coming in, seeing a guy come in for a save and then turn around and throw 7 quality innings to get a win is awesome. So he's my player of the week nominee.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw mine out there. Mine's Chase Dollander and the 8 infielders for Tennessee. He came in through 8 innings, only got 6 strikeouts and on 3 hits. So that means out of those 8 innings, other than 6 of the outs, so 6 innings of outs were all balls that were put in play, which just even if you didn't, I didn't get to watch the games, but that just shows that the defensive ability that Tennessee has to just make plays. And my second one is going to be Tony Vitello, the Tennessee coach, for having possibly the greatest in-game interview of all time. Like my fiance doesn't even care about college baseball. I think Sue just sent the video in our group chat. And I gave her a little bit of background and I was like, now that you know what he's talking about, you got to watch this. And even she was laughing at it and she doesn't give a shit about baseball. But so our player of the week this week is going to have to be Quinn Matthews, because it's very rare you see a guy pitch twice in one weekend, especially in like high leverage situations. Like you don't bring a guy in at 5-0 that pitched on Friday just to give somebody some innings. Like they obviously thought he can hold this lead for us.
Big balls in the
Stanford, and obviously they did. Too. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give Cooper Jerpy the Jacob deGrom Award of the week of just having a fantastic game and still getting a loss.
Big brain right there. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we'll give our honorable mention to Mike Honcho. So yeah, great job, Quinn. Really awesome to see. So I'll go ahead and you guys want to do the statistics and then we'll move into the I have a contender and pretender I want to talk about, but I don't know if everybody prepped one. I have
a contender and that's it.
Yeah, that's fine. So my runner-up for statistics was actually the 17 strikeouts you mentioned, Benji. So props to you for nailing that one. My statistic is 125. That is the number of dollars more it took to purchase a ticket to a Tennessee Vandy series, a game in the series this weekend, more than a ticket to all 3 Final Four games.
Wait,
what? Did you guys not see that on Twitter?
I'm sorry.
Say that again.
I'll send you guys.
Games were like
the link real quick.
$600 for tickets.
No, I'm saying on average.
There's a lot of major league games that don't even sell tickets for that much.
I'm literally going to a Cubs game and my ticket was $85.
So like the Final Four, they operate where since it's all in the same building, one ticket gets you in for like all 3 games. That happens at any regional level. And because Vanderbilt Stadium is so small, which kind of sucks actually. So one more comment about the Gabe Kepler, but the
That's crazy.
NCAA. So he was actually disappointed about that because he's like, it's because the supply is so much lower and we need, had to have more fans at a series like that. But the fact that people were willing to pay that much to see that
$575.
level of college baseball, like Tony Vitello is right, where we need to be putting this in front of as many people as possible. But I thought it was equally good and bad, like to see that level of enthusiasm and interest in a series like that. And
So
Absolutely.
despite Tennessee coming with the sweep, it met every expectation of entertainment value I think it could have.
So that is $575 per game or for the series for Tennessee?
I think that's per game.
Per game.
That's
I mean,
crazy,
they're probably
dude.
that expensive because they got to pay for that freaking light show they got now for home runs somehow.
Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, my statistic 125.
That's nuts. I did not know that at all. That's
pretty
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll go with mine. My number or stat is 0. So UCF's Connor Stain has a 0.00 ERA through 30 and 2/3 innings pitched through 7 starts. So
that's really good.
He's 5-2 on the season. He's 5-2, giving up 8 hits, 38 strikeouts, and 2 runs.
Oh,
Are we sure he's not actually Mike Honcho who faked his transcript?
But so he's taken 2 losses and he only given up 2 runs.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They were probably unearned runs.
Oh, he might not. Yeah, because he's only given up 2 runs all season. But one of the stats that is versus UNC Greensboro, I believe. He got the loss, but he has 0 innings pitched with 1 hit. So I think he came in for a save.
It's probably it's probably a save and unearned run. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Connor Stain's stat page right now. I see a record of 4-0. He does have a 0.00 ERA though.
Either way, that's pretty good.
I mean, 30 plus innings on average is about 6-7 games. They probably won those 7 games. They just didn't count as a win on his record.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I see what you're looking at though, Jowers. The team has gone 5-2 in his starts.
5. Okay, yeah.
But he has record.
He is 4-0. Yes, but still 4-0 through like 4 starts, 30 innings pitched, and you have a 0 ERA. I mean,
pretty solid.
That's more than solid. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So mine first before Eric's. Mine is 4. That is the number of runs scored by Vanderbilt versus Tennessee this weekend. And that is brutal. Absolutely just hurt. It breaks my heart. I'm not surprised because obviously it's Tennessee. I wanted my Vandy boys to pull through and get a dub, at least 1 this weekend, but to only score 4 runs, it's heartbreaking.
I think Tennessee has to officially be excluded from our future weekend pick'ems until they lose a series. I think the only team I would pick to beat them in a series would be Arkansas, and I wouldn't even pick them. Let me rephrase. I think the only team that has a chance to beat them in a series the way they're playing right now is Arkansas.
I would also almost put Virginia in there as well.
No,
Fair.
I wouldn't. No.
I would
Virginia
almost
just lost to Georgia Tech,
I
and
think
Georgia
the
Tech's
game-
pitching is nowhere near Tennessee's.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of Virginia and Georgia Tech, for Travis's twisted take, this coming up or for this weekend, he said that Virginia or Georgia Tech is going to give up 37 runs. I think he said.
I did. They gave up 37 to Wake Forest.
Yep.
And that's it. Yeah.
And they ended up giving up 35. So very spot on. And I feel like I'm partially to blame for that because I was, after the first game, I was like, oh, dude, you're good. They're not going to give up 37 runs. And Yes.
Yeah, we can dive into
That's
the,
what happens when Jake Mehoff finds a stroke.
Eric,
But,
did you give your submission for
Yeah,
this?
so mine actually coincidentally piggybacks a little bit off of what Benji's stat was. Mine is also the number 4, being the combined number of years that Tennessee's 3 weekend starters have attended college. So 2 freshmen and a sophomore.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. I'll give the award to the joint effort from Eric and Benji tag teaming on 4 right there.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
It was 2v1, right?
You gotta admit, you guys gotta admit though that if it wasn't Travis's segment, he would definitely get that though.
Yeah, that was wild.
That's a crazy stat.
I also do want to say for our people watching on YouTube, even though I'm wearing a Vanderbilt hoodie, I am a Tennessee fan because I own them. So just want to put that out there.
Don't think that's allowed.
Yeah.
Conflict of interest.
We can get into our bold predictions. Let's run through everybody's from last week. So before you can take us through that, Jowers, I'll add the only notes on that series, that Georgia Tech Virginia series. You know, after Friday, I was feeling pretty good about Georgia Tech and less good about my prediction because Georgia Tech won 6-4. They beat Virginia. I was riding high. They finally got, Chance Huff had an okay outing, and Zach Maxwell, who was the Saturday starter, they moved into the pen, was dominant. And then the circus catch from Jaden Jackson, Parada hit a home run out of the ballpark. It was awesome. And then when you move your Saturday starter to the bullpen, you got to come up with a new Saturday starter. And the wheels fell off the wagon. They gave up 13 runs on Saturday, 18 on Sunday, came within 2 of my bold prediction coming true, which is incredibly depressing. So Suge's bold prediction was that OU is going to go 3-1. He almost hit. OU wasn't. To be honest, they really pissed it away today. They had Longhorns.
It was a horrible display of bullpenning from OU. That was so bad.
They had Texas there.
To be fair, Suge has said many times, OU's bullpen is ass. So he's at least realistic and understands that OU has a shitty bullpen.
Yeah.
That is true.
Absolutely. So he missed on that one just barely. Who else? Brennan's came true.
Came true.
He had an extended one. LSU, it did in fact lose their series to Auburn. They beat Florida, but then they lost to A&M. Was the first series they lost to. So credit to him.
Mine did not come true. I said that Oregon was going to win their midweeks and sweep. They won their midweeks and they got swept. So
mine also did not come true. I said Vandy was going to win the series 2-1. They got swept.
Eric, did you make one last week?
This one's for
it was Texas Tech was going to go 5-0 from Sunday to Sunday, and they dropped it on game 5.
That was actually the crazy thing. So in our fantasy league, I played Kansas all week because all I was hoping for was one victory in that series. And I feel like that Thanos meme, like I got my one victory today, but what did it cost? Losing by 20 runs on Saturday.
If you would have played literally any other Big 12 team, you probably would have won this week too.
I know. Well, so my bold prediction, and this is really, really bold. I am predicting.
We aren't going yet. We haven't started this segment correctly. Welcome to TJ's Twisted Takes.
Thank goodness he did that before I said anything. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come true.
I'm getting real slow with these. Getting real slow.
Yeah, gotta have that. So my bold prediction. God damn it, Brennan's blowing up my phone and ringing in my ears. Okay, my bold prediction for this week, and this is really bold. I don't know who I'm playing in fantasy, but I'm going to win. I'm calling it putting in the call. I've got Stanford, who I think has resurrected their season. If you guys recall, the prediction I made a couple weeks ago, I said they needed to sweep Washington State by at least 7 runs every game to stay alive. They didn't do that, but they did sweep, and they won by at least 5 runs in 2 of the games. Now, I picked them to win against Oregon State, but at a very low confidence level. And that series, as we've talked about, was ridiculous. But nothing changes the fact that they went into Corvallis and took 2 or 3 from the Beavers, a really good baseball team. So I've got Stanford now as a contender again. I think they came out of the gates super cold, and they're starting to find their stride. They're still not hitting at an elite level, but to go down 5-0 in the series clincher and come back like that, major props when you're doing it on the road against a team of that quality. So, but anyway, I've got Stanford. They're hosting Arizona State. Georgia Tech is hosting Florida State, and I think Georgia Tech is going to win that series. If Notre Dame can hit Florida State's pitching like that, Georgia Tech can too. And Florida State's offense is not as elite. I don't think they're going to do what Virginia and Wake Forest have done to Georgia Tech's pitching staff. Arkansas is hosting Florida, and Florida, I think, is a pretender now. Like, they dropped to LSU at home. They got swept by Georgia. They are not playing well right now. So I'm picking Arkansas in that series for sure. Pitt just came off a series victory against Louisville, the undefeated crown of the ACC.
Yeah,
I told you I didn't have them ranked last week. So Pitt's playing hot. Louisville is not pretender. And then West Virginia, who just beat TCU in a series, is hosting Baylor. So I think my teams are playing hot. It's all coming together for the first time. I'm calling it. Bold prediction.
I hope it works out for you.
I think you play Benji.
Well, he's not playing so well, is he, right now?
Oh, one weekend. Sorry.
Well,
I mean-
yeah, that's one weekend. I don't know.
So the only team on my bold predictions, I have 2 that go with my teams that I own. And one is they're going to lose. They're going to get swept next weekend, and that's North Carolina. They play Louisville. Even though Louisville is playing a little rough, North Carolina has been becoming more and more of a pretender than I thought they were. And with how Louisville has been playing, yes, they didn't do too hot this weekend, but I think that they will pull it through against North Carolina. My bold take here is Oklahoma State is going to sweep OU. So I think Oklahoma State's going to come back through, and they're going to take that series. They did lose them to a walk-off.
Why do we keep giving just a reason to talk about
so much fun.
OSU?
It's so much fun.
You also just made a
It's enjoyable.
Sujus level bold take of borderline stupid instead of bold.
That's all right.
Wait,
Oh,
hold on.
all right.
Did I miss something? Are you predicting OU to sweep OSU?
No, I'm taking
other way
Oklahoma
around.
State. Oklahoma State is going to sweep OU.
Yeah, I don't think that's Suja's level stupid. I think
No, I
that's
don't think it is, but it's just giving Sue just now a reason to
Yeah,
talk about
more
OU.
material. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
absolutely.
We don't
is that
need to give
series
him
in,
ammo.
Is that series in Norman or Stillwater?
It's at Oklahoma State.
State. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, State. Sorry.
That would be
It's
Stillwater.
it's in
Yeah,
the
fake
it's
news.
in
Honestly, I have no
the it's
fucking
in
clue.
the state of
Yeah, it's
Oklahoma.
in the state of Oklahoma, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one.
So I'll go with mine. Sticking with Pac-12, sticking with my boys. I think they're going to bounce back. I think Oregon is going to take 4 of 4 from Ball State. So you look very confused, Travis. What was up?
No, I was reading all the freaking text messages you guys sent while I was talking.
Oh, sorry.
You said Oregon or Oregon State?
Oregon. I think they're going to take 4 of 4. They don't have a midweek this week, so I think they're going to take that time
So
and kind of regroup
Okay.
themselves.
last week, we basically said the Pac-12 was a race between Oregon and Oregon State. How does that look now? UCLA just swept Oregon, and Stanford took the series at Oregon State. Is this back to like a wide open race now? Because like, if we think about other conferences, the Big Ten's kind of like, not to shit on the Big Ten, but there's no teams that are running away with things in that series, in that conference. SEC, Tennessee is the clear-cut favorite. Big 12, Texas thought they were going to be number one. Oklahoma State's really killing it right now. Texas Tech. Who's the other one? ACC, right? Louisville was undefeated. Now they dropped the series. That's kind of like a whole mixed bag there too, except Virginia probably is the class of that one right now. Is the Pac-12 going to be a 4-team race?
So as it stands right now, it is Arizona is leading the Pac-12. UCLA is in second. Oregon State and Oregon are tied for third. Then Arizona State, Stanford, UCLA, or USC. So Arizona and UCLA are running away.
Oh, I forgot about Arizona. Who did they played Washington this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, and they
won 2-1.
They have a game. I guess that just shows they're midweek, but they're playing Arizona State. But yeah, Arizona is 9-3. UCLA is 6-3. This is conference play. Oregon State 7-5. Oregon 7-5. Gotcha. So I mean,
pretty open.
It's really a race for second. I wouldn't even say a 4-team. I mean, unless Arizona drops this weekend. But yeah, it's kind of just a race for second at this point.
Oh, if Arizona can continue that pace, you mean?
Yeah, because
gotcha.
I mean, they've also played the most games in the Pac-12.
Gotcha. So. Okay. Anybody else bold prediction? Do we all get them in?
Yeah, mine's going to be so Tennessee's got Lipscomb this week in the midweek and Missouri for their weekend series. And I think 2 of those 4 games are going to be shutouts. That's my bold prediction.
Wait, where are the other 4 games coming from? Or it's 2 midweeks and then
they have 1 midweek against Lipscomb and then 3 games on the weekend here in Missouri.
Gotcha.
2 of those 4 games are going to be shutouts by Tennessee.
I don't doubt it, especially their bullpen. Like they barely had to use this weekend at all. They're scary. Yeah, I think that's a good prediction.
So for me, I know this really isn't a picking segment, I guess. I'm still going to. I'm going to go with my boy, Travis, because I want him to win. I want to see my boy succeed here.
And Travis only has 1 win so far this season. So like,
yeah,
you like to see the underdogs win a couple games.
Everybody, I am playing you, Benji, next week.
I got a rough week ahead of me next week too. So I think you should be okay.
We'll see.
With how you said your teams are playing,
they're all playing well and lining up against
mine are not
opponents.
lining up that great. So,
well, I guess we shall see.
Yeah,
I hope it comes true because my boy needs some wins.
Yeah.
Listen, he is the creator of this league. He needs to be at least 500.
Well, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and it almost seems like Benji's clearly in first place. 4 of us are like all tied with the same like 3-3, 4-3 record, and then Travis, who is just as much clearly in last place as Benji is in first place.
I feel like that comment was completely unnecessary. I don't think we needed to rub it in like that.
Regardless of whether or not it was necessary, it was accurate.
I'm just trying to give our listeners, some insight on the fantasy aspect. We don't really talk about it as much.
Yeah. TJ, you said you had the midweek preview lined up.
Yeah, I do. So I'll just run it down. These are just top 25 teams. These are not our individual teams. So Tennessee's playing Lipscomb. Texas Tech has 2 games against Grand Canyon University. Virginia has a game against Liberty. I think that'll be a good game, to be honest. I know Liberty is kind of fizzling out. Brennan says they're a pretender, but that'll be a good game. Arkansas plays Central Arkansas. Vanderbilt plays Austin Peay. Texas plays UT Rio Grande Valley. TCU plays UT Arlington. Oregon State plays Portland. Ole Miss plays Southern Miss. LSU plays ULM. Florida State plays Jackson and Stetson, which I don't know if you guys know a lot about Stetson. Their facility is like top notch down there in Florida. It looks sweet. I've seen it all over social media. It looks sweet. That's where DeGrom's from. And then we got Oklahoma State at Wichita State, Purdue, Northern Illinois, Georgia, Clemson, which I think that's going to be a solid midweek ACC matchup. That's not ACC. Gosh darn it. That's SEC and ACC.
One of them is.
Yeah, well, Miami goes to Florida Gulf Coast. UNC plays South Carolina, who no one really knows how South Carolina is at this point. We're all kind of lost on if they're good or if they're bad. Florida plays Florida A&M. Louisville plays Kentucky. DBU plays Baylor. Texas State plays Georgia Southern. Oregon doesn't have one. Wake Forest plays Elon. Gonzaga plays Washington State. Arizona plays Arizona State. And Notre Dame plays Butler. So that is a little preview of the midweeks that we got coming up.
I would say actually maybe the best viewing might be the Texas Tech Grand Canyon. I don't know if you guys heard about any of the drama between Arizona State and Grand Canyon. Basically, Arizona State. So Grand Canyon is a program that has just recently become D1, like in the last 5 or 10 years, if not like more recent. And they beat Arizona State in a midweek game. And Arizona State basically said something to the effect of like, they don't belong on the same field as us because they're like, in the context of like they are.
Was this pre or post?
After the game, yeah, after they.
So this was post after loss.
Yes, and because they have another either game or series with them later in the season.
That's
so.
I don't. You don't win the twisted take anymore. They win the twisted take because that is. You're gonna come out after a loss and be like, they don't deserve to be on the field with us.
It's very Ole Miss, but
very much so.
So I say that because Grand Canyon beat Arizona State. They thrashed, if you remember, Eric, they thrashed Arizona like 19-3 or something like that in a midweek game. So they're legitimate, D1 team, and I would say that might be an interesting one with Texas Tech lined up. Alrighty, well, you guys got anything else? It was an awesome week for anybody that actually watched college.
Do we have a tracker on Iona?
Oh yeah, we need the Iona tracker.
Yeah, you gotta get the
Iona.
I can't believe.
I think. Hang on, I got it. That's right here. Nope, they didn't get a win.
What were they?
Who'd they play?
They lost to Monmouth 9-3, 6-5, and 6-4.
Where was that? Wait, where was that?
So close.
Where was that series at?
Yeah, at Monmouth.
Dude, we could have gone.
I could have gone.
We're literally right.
I'm in Monmouth County.
Yep. So yeah, they lost to Stony Brook 10-0 in the midweek game.
Damn it, we need a legit Iona watch. I want a weekend preview because I could have gone to that damn game.
Yeah, they lost 6-5 and 6-4. They almost had them.
So close.
Hey, TJ, where isn't Fairleigh Dickinson College close to us?
Yeah. Oh my God,
Teaneck, New Jersey?
They got walked off.
I don't know where Teaneck is.
They got walked off. Yeah, they were winning 5-4, and they got walked off bottom nine.
Do we have record of their last win? When that was?
They're 0-23.
No, I'm talking like even going backwards.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
That's so close.
Yeah, dude, they got walked off. That's so sad. That was Saturday.
Well, who do they play midweek and upcoming?
Fairleigh Dickinson and Canisius, I think it's Canisius. Canisius, yeah.
So let's see.
Canisius is 11-13, so I don't see a good one happening there.
So Iona lost their last 6 games of 2021. Hey guys. Okay, here's a tidbit. Their last victory came against Canisius, 8-6, March 28th of 2021.
Oh, we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday opportunity.
There's got to be one.
They're heating up,
nestled
man.
in
They
there.
almost
Yo,
got them.
this is gonna
weekend.
make the juiciest Twitter.
They've got to have a win somewhere in their system. I feel it. You know what?
Canisius and then St. Peter's the next weekend.
I got them going 2-1 against Canisius. They got two. They got 2 wins in them.
I think they're gonna get the first one now.
Let's see it. All right, guys. Will be things we're going to be looking for this week. Iona's first win. Tune in this Thursday to hear our breakdown and defending our rankings, which are coming out this morning. As you'll be hearing this. Keep coming back, man. Oh, go ahead. Yes, yeah.
Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, we'll have our 3rd segment of our bullpen interviews. So
yes,
we'll be sure to get that out on our socials as soon as possible. So
yeah, it's gonna be a packed week. College baseball is fucking awesome.
Agreed.
All right, later, guys.
Deuces, brother.